Imagine a woman named Alice, 38 years old, who owns a small craft shop in a small town. She'd wake up before sunrise, face hours of exhausting work, and come home with calloused hands and an empty wallet. The money she made seemed to vanish. Overdue bills, falling sales, a feeling that something was wrong. Her home wasn't helping. Shoes were scattered by the entrance, piled under the bed, even left near the stove in the kitchen. Alice had no idea, but these shoes weren't just a mess. They carried an invisible weight that was holding everything back. Her finances, her peace, even her chances for a better future. One day, while having tea with a friend who had traveled the world, she heard something that made her stop. Did you know that in Japan, taking off your shoes before entering the house is more than just cleaning? It's a ritual to protect the energy of your home. That stuck in her head. Could the way I leave my shoes be sabotaging my life? The answer is yes, and I'm going to show you exactly how it happens right now. Alice's story isn't just hers. It could be yours too. How many times have you felt that no matter how hard you work, the money doesn't stay, the opportunities don't come, and the exhaustion just keeps growing? Maybe you blame the job, the boss, the economy. But what if I told you that the problem might be right under your nose, in a detail you've never questioned? In your shoes, yes, the ones you take off and toss anywhere. According to ancient traditions, like Japanese Buddhism and even Chinese feng shui, every step you take imprints an energy on your footwear. They absorb the weight of crowded streets, the stress of the office, the dense vibrations of places you'd rather not have stepped. And when you bring all of that into your home and leave them where they shouldn't be, those energies settle in, like unwanted guests, blocking the flow of prosperity, harmony, and even health. If you want to turn this around, you need to stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to reveal today might be the secret you've been missing to unlock your life. Before we go deeper, I want you to feel that you're already in control of this change. Think of your home as a powerful magnet. It can attract abundance or chaos, and you get to choose. How many shoes are scattered around your house right now? It might be worth taking a peek later. And look, if this idea is already sparking a light in your head, comment with the sacred phrase, "Universe, I am ready." This is your first communication to your higher self, to inform you that you are prepared for all the blessings that will come to you. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. That way, you'll stay up to date on every trick I'm going to share to transform your space and your energy. You know what's crazy? While you're watching, you're already taking the first step to break free from this cycle of stagnation. So, grab a notebook. Write down what resonates with you the most. Who knows, you might become the next story I tell here. Today, I'm going to guide you through a path that few people know. First, you'll discover the places in your house where leaving shoes is like putting a lock on your prosperity. Places you probably use without even suspecting the damage they cause. Then I'm going to show you the right spots to store them, the ones that create space for harmony and new money. And there's more. At the end, I'll reveal a trick so simple yet so powerful that Alice used and, in less than a month, saw her shop double its sales and her home turn into a haven of peace. She stopped running in circles and started attracting what she had always dreamed of. Want to know the worst part? If you turn this off now, you're going to be left with that nagging feeling. What if I had stayed to hear the rest? It's not worth the risk. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and come with me on this journey. Your home isn't just four walls, it's a mirror of your energy. And the shoes? They can be the villains you never imagined, or the allies that will help you shine. Let's find out together. It all starts with a truth that the modern world has forgotten. Your house isn't just a place to sleep. It's a sanctuary where you recharge, dream, and build what you want to experience out there. But, like every sanctuary, it has invisible rules. Shoes, these companions on your journey, carry stories, good and bad. Where you put them decides if those stories will lift you up or pull you down. Alice learned this in the most unexpected way, and what she did changed everything. Have you ever felt that heavy energy when you walk into your house after a bad day? Well, part of that might be on your feet, or rather what you do with them when you get home. Stay with me, because I'm going to tell you how to avoid the mistakes that almost everyone makes, and how to turn something so simple into a key to abundance. If Alice could do it, why couldn't you? Now that you've seen how Alice began to suspect her shoes, let's dive into the heart of it all, the energy they carry. It's not just a random idea. It's something that comes from ancient traditions, and that explains why where you leave your footwear can change the course of your life. Think about it. Every time you step onto a noisy street, into a crowded market, or into a stressful job, your shoes absorb a piece of those vibrations. And when you get home and leave them anywhere, those energies don't disappear, they stick to your space. Buddhism, which began over 2,500 years ago with Siddhartha Gautama in India, already talked about this. Monks have always taken off their shoes before entering temples, not just for cleanliness, but to keep the inner peace of the place intact. And that's exactly what's at stake in your home. Let's bring this closer to you with a real example. In 2018, a study by the University of Osaka in Japan measured how clutter at home affects well-being. They found that objects out of place, like scattered shoes, increase stress by up to 23%, and that's not even counting the spiritual side. Now combine that with what Alice experienced. She'd been working in her little shop since 2015. Before hearing that friend in 2022, she left her old trainers by the entrance to the house, right by the door where she entered every day. According to the Buddhist teachings she learned later, the entrance is sacred. That's where prosperity arrives. But her shoes, full of street dust and the tension of poor sales, stood there like a wall blocking everything. When she changed that, things started to flow, and I'm going to tell you how shortly. This energy thing isn't some crazy talk. It's simple and it makes sense. Your shoes are like sponges. They pick up what you experience out there. In 1995, a researcher named Masaru Emoto showed that even water stores memories of the emotions around it. Imagine then what your shoes, which step on everything, can carry. In Buddhism, everything in your home has a vibration. The bed where you sleep needs calm to renew you. The kitchen, where you make food, is the engine of abundance. The entrance is the path of opportunities. If you fill these places with used shoes, it's like bringing the chaos from outside in. Alice felt this firsthand. Before reorganizing everything, in 2021, she argued a lot with her husband. She couldn't sleep properly, and the money barely covered the bills. After she learned from that Buddhist master that her friend mentioned, everything changed. To understand this properly, think about your daily life. Have you ever walked into your house after a hard day and felt a feeling of unease that you can't explain? Part of that might come from the shoes you took off and left lying around. In Buddhism, they say that the home is a sanctuary, a space to recharge and dream. But if you let it become a deposit for mixed energies like the ones that come in your trainers, that sanctuary turns into an invisible mess. In 2019, a book called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo became famous for talking about this. Organizing the space clears the mind. But Buddhism goes further. It's not just about tidying up, it's about carefully choosing where everything goes, especially the shoes, so you don't block what you want to attract. So what did Alice do? She stopped leaving her shoes at the entrance and under the bed, places that the Buddhist master, whom she heard in a lecture in 2022, said were the worst. The bed, for example, is where you rest. If there are shoes underneath, with all the heavy energy of the streets, your sleep gets poor. and your head doesn't relax. This happened to Alice for years. She woke up tired, even sleeping 8 hours. When she removed the shoes from there in 2 weeks, she slept like never before. And the entrance, without the shoes blocking it, she felt the house lighter, and soon after, a big customer appeared at the shop, something that hadn't happened since 2020. It's not magic, it's cause and effect. The location of the shoes matters. Stay with me, because this is just the beginning. In the next part, I'll show you the exact places you need to avoid and why, based on what Alice learned and what Buddhism has been teaching for centuries. Imagine what you can do in your home. The secret is in the details. Where your shoes are now may be deciding whether tomorrow you will have peace or hardship. And there's more. I'm still going to tell you where to store them properly and a trick that nobody expects, which made her sales skyrocket. You can't miss what's coming up. Have you ever thought that the answer to what's holding you back is one step away from you discovering it? Now that you understand how shoes carry energy, let's talk about something even more powerful. How changing their location can change you. This is personal transformation. The idea that small steps in your daily life can open doors that seemed locked. Alice, whom we already know, is the perfect example. Before 2022, she lived in a loop: hard work, late bills, fights at home. But when she heard that Buddhist master and removed the shoes from the entrance and under the bed, it wasn't just the house that became lighter, it was her entire life. This isn't chance. It's about taking control, clearing what weighs you down, and leaving space for the new. And you can do the same, starting today. Let's understand this in detail. Personal transformation is when you take something simple, like where you leave your footwear, and use it to create a ripple effect. In Buddhism, which guides this idea, everything starts with intention. It's not just throwing the shoes into a shoe rack and that's it. It's doing it thinking, I want peace here, or I want to open the way for money to come in. Alice learned this in 2022 in a lecture. The master explained that the mess in the home reflects the mess in the mind. If your shoes are scattered, your head gets full of knots, difficult to sleep, plan, or even dream. When she organized everything, it wasn't just the house that was in order. She started waking up with ideas for the shop, treating customers more calmly, and even her husband stopped complaining so much. A small adjustment brought clarity to the whole life. Another key point is the power of conscious action. It's not magic, it's logic. Think of your bed. If you leave shoes underneath, with all the dust and energy of the streets, your rest turns into an invisible battlefield. Alice felt this. She woke up exhausted, even sleeping early. After cleaning this corner, in 2 weeks, her sleep changed completely. This is science too. A 2018 study from the University of Osaka showed that disorganized environments increase stress. But Buddhism goes further. It says that each corner of the house has a role. The entrance is the portal of opportunities. If it's blocked by shoes, how will something new arrive? Alice saw this happen. In 2023, a big customer appeared at the shop, a rare thing before. She changed the space and, without realizing it, changed her posture. She became more open to receiving. And there's more. Transformation isn't just about tidying up, it's about believing in what you do. When Alice heard that the kitchen is the heart of abundance, she stopped leaving her trainers near the stove. In Buddhism, this place is sacred, where you prepare food to nourish the family. Shoes there, it's like throwing mud on the source that keeps you alive. She swapped it for a shoe rack in the hallway and weeks later noticed that the finances became firmer. An extra payment fell into the account right at the time of a debt. This is what I call the domino effect. One change pulls another. You start organizing the shoes, then you feel lighter, make better decisions, and suddenly you're living differently. Alice stopped chasing after losses and started building something bigger. So, what does this mean for you? That personal transformation doesn't need big revolutions. It's about looking at your shoes and thinking, where are they holding me back? Alice did this and turned the tables from a nearly bankrupt shop in 2021 to a business that in 2023 paid the bills and had some left over for dreaming. Stay with me, because in the next part, I'll show you the places you should never leave your footwear, with each reason well explained. And there's still the trick that made her shine even brighter. Have you ever imagined if the next step to your turnaround is right there on the soles of your trainers? We've arrived at the third pillar of this journey, abundance and prosperity. It's not just about having money in the account. It's about feeling that life flows, that doors open, that your home becomes a magnet for good things. Alice, our craftswoman, discovered this in 2022 when she stopped leaving her footwear in the wrong corners. Before, she barely paid the shop's bills. Afterwards, in 2023, she saw new customers arrive and even an extra profit appear. The secret: taking the shoes out of the places that block everything and putting them where they help to attract what she wanted. This is what Buddhism calls aligning the space to invite abundance, and you will understand how to do the same step by step. First, know that abundance doesn't fall from the sky. It needs a clean path to enter. In Buddhism, the entrance of the house is this path. It's through there that chances, resources, and calm arrive. But if you leave the shoes there, full of dirt and the weight of the day, it's like locking the door to blessings. Alice did this. Her trainers were piled up near the door since 2015 when she opened the shop. Result: years of meager sales and tension. When she cleaned this space in 2022, after the tip from the Buddhist master, she felt the difference. The house became more airy, and a customer brought a large order soon after. It's not coincidence. It's what happens when you open a path for what is good. Another essential piece is the kitchen. In Buddhism, this corner is the core of abundance, where you prepare the family's sustenance. Shoes nearby? It's like throwing mud on the sauce that keeps you alive. Alice had the habit of taking off her footwear near the stove. Practical but wrong. In 2021, she didn't even notice how this weighed her down. The finances fluctuated, and the food never seemed to stretch far enough. After she changed it, in 2023, she noticed that the money started to be a bit left over. A late payment fell into the account right when she needed it. This shows that prosperity is more than just notes in your pocket. It's the energy of nourishing and multiplying what you have. Cleaning this space made Alice feel safer, and her pocket thanked her. Prosperity also comes from rest, and that's where the bed comes in. If the shoes are underneath with all the load from the streets, you don't recharge properly. Alice woke up exhausted, even sleeping early, because the old shoes were under the mattress. In 2 weeks without them there, in 2022, her sleep turned to gold. She got up with the energy to create in the shop. Buddhism explains, the bed is where you gather strength to face the world. If it's polluted by shoes, abundance doesn't find space to grow. You get stuck in exhaustion. Alice felt this. More energy, more ideas, more sales. A silly adjustment turned the key to better days. So, what does this tell you? That abundance and prosperity start with simple choices. Alice transformed the nearly bankrupt shop of 2021 into a business that in 2023 paid the bills and left a bit to dream of. She stopped blocking the entrance, cleaned the kitchen, and gave peace to the bed. And the flow came. In the next part, I'll show you the worst places to leave your footwear and the best to store them, with each reason well explained. And there's still a smart trick that made her shine even more. Have you ever thought if what's missing for your life to take off is hidden in the corner where you leave your shoes? We've reached the end of this journey, and now everything comes together. The shoes you wear every day aren't just pieces of leather or rubber. They are carriers of stories, of weights, of possibilities. Alice proved this. In 2021, she lived in hardship, with the shop almost closing and the house full of tension. But in 2022, after hearing a Buddhist master, she stopped leaving her footwear at the entrance, in the kitchen, and under the bed. Result? In 2023, sales went up. Peace returned, and even a bit of extra money appeared. It wasn't luck. It was her taking the reins, adjusting the space to invite abundance. And you? Are you ready to do the same and see what happens? Let's tie up the loose ends. First, the places that sabotage everything. The entrance, where chances get suffocated with piled-up shoes. Alice cleaned this and felt the air circulate. Soon, a big customer came. The kitchen, the engine of nutrition, can't stand footwear nearby. She removed the trainers from there, and the money stopped disappearing so quickly. And the bed, your haven of rest, turns into a minefield with shoes underneath. Alice removed them and woke up renewed. Now, the right corners. A hallway with a simple shoe rack, a closed wardrobe, or a utility room. Places that hold the dirt of the day without letting it invade your peace. Alice chose the hallway, and the house turned into another place, clearer, more alive, more full of promise. But there's a final trick, a gift that Alice got, and that you take away today. Take coarse salt, yes, the one from the kitchen. In many traditions, like Buddhism and even Brazilian folklore, it pulls out what weighs you down and cleans the air. Do it like this. Scrub the corner where you store the shoes with a damp cloth and a few pinches of salt. Then, leave a small pot with coarse salt there, hidden. Change it every 2 weeks. Alice did this in 2022 and swears that the shop gained new breath. An unexpected order fell into her lap days later. It's not witchcraft, it's intention. You tell the universe that you want a space free to grow. You can throw some dry basil leaves in the pot if you want. They say it calls success. Test it and tell me what happened. What does all this mean? That abundance isn't a prize you win. It's a garden you plant. Alice planted hers by changing where the shoes were and harvested sales, quietness, dreams. Since 2015, she fought in the shop. In 2023, she celebrated a stable year. Each pair of shoes well stored was a brick in the new house she started planning. And you, where are you treading wrong? Look at your shoes now, so left at the door, tangled in the room. Each of them may be holding what you ask for every night before sleeping. Adjust that, and who knows what's coming. A late payment that arrives, an idea that shines, a calmer morning. This journey isn't just about shoes. It's about you taking the wheel. Buddhism, which was born over 2,000 years ago, says that the chaos outside reflects the chaos inside. Alice learned this in 2022 and turned the page. She stopped blaming the world and started fixing hers, and the world responded. You don't need much. A cheap shoe rack, a handful of salt, a minute to think about what you want. But you have to start. If Alice there with a simple shop made the money dance again, why would you stay out? The power is in your hands, or rather, on your feet. So here's the conclusion. Your home is your mirror. Take care of it, and it takes care of you. Don't let the shoes decide your future. Put them in their place, and you in yours. Keep thinking about this. What if the next step is what changes everything? Before you go, I want to invite you to be part of this. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next secrets to unlock your life. And look, have you ever imagined telling your story here? Test what you learned and come back to tell me how it was. May abundance, peace and good winds come to you. See you in the next video.